Bafaro, this is Hal Jacobs, PGA professional at Worcester Country Club. I'm just going to do a real quick review with you about our lesson on the 13th. Here is our swing with a wedge. I'll start from the beginning and play it in slow motion. I think you're doing a great job. I still think, we need to work on wrist hinge. As I take it up to the top here, let me just show you, I had the chance to go to the Masters and watch the Masters in, I think it was '07, and I got some tape of David Toms hitting some wedge shots, and this is around the green. So as he gets to the top, look at how much wrist hinge he has just for a short little pitch shot. Here's a little different view, again, as he gets to the top. Let me see if I could do this. He's got about 100 degrees of wrist hinge at the top of his little swing. And you've got 124. So I still think you need to work on your wrist hinge. I think it's a valuable part of generating power and consistency. So let's see now. You take it into impact really well. That's a very good position at impact. And I like your follow through. So with the wedge work, we went over at the beginning of the lesson a pre-shot routine where you took a practice swing back behind the ball in line with your target. You visualize where the ball goes, and then you step up and you line it up and you hit your shot. So let's take a look at. I got a picture of your 6-irons. So let's just draw a few lines here. Pretty good setup here. Club comes back pretty much on plane. It gets a little bit inside there. I think that you could use a little bit more shoulder turn right off the get-go. That's one of the reasons why it came inside at this position. But you cover real nice. You're back on plane right there. You have a great hip drive, and real good impact position. I think by here I'd like to see your hands kind of rotate over a little bit more. We'll work on that on the next couple lessons. Because if I showed you, I showed you. I'm looking at the club face right here. If I showed you what, let's take a look at a guy. A guy like Sean O'Hare has your kind of build. I don't have him with an iron. Nick Price, another guy, he's a little shorter swing, a little more staccato like yours. So he's got a little more wrist hinge than you do. But take a look at the difference in what the club face looks like down here as opposed to yours. It's a little more rotated over. Again, we'll work on it next time. I think you need to keep working on the wrist hinge, and I think that'll come. If we look at your 6-iron from this view, as you take it to the top of your swing, that's the most amount of wrist hinge that you get. So a guy like Sean O'Hare, So if we measure the angles again, that's not what I want to do. I just draw a line on his club shaft and then through his arms. You're talking about 84 degrees. If we did it to you, 101. But the neat thing is that as you come down, I think you lose your angle a little bit. Yeah, now you're at 126. As he rotates down, he's actually made a greater angle. So by you losing your wrist hinge a little bit early at the top, you might hit fat shots. You remember we talked about your fat shots. That would be one reason why. So I like impact. I like going through impact. Sean O'Hare, very similar in terms of what you guys look at like at the end. So to recap, there were three things that we were working on. Number one being a little more wrist hinge, and I had it up earlier. I for some reason it disappeared. Number two, we were talking about the pre-shot routine.